Imagine a year where the sun vanished. A year when the familiar warmth and light of the sun were replaced by an eerie, unending twilight. The world was plunged into a state of perpetual dusk, casting long shadows over the lives of those who lived through it. The sky turned a strange, hazy yellow. It was as if the heavens themselves had been cloaked in a veil of mystery and foreboding. The sun, once a symbol of life and vitality, became a distant memory. The air grew cold even in summer. Crops withered in the fields and the once bustling marketplaces fell silent. People huddled together for warmth, their breath visible in the frigid air. It was a time of great uncertainty and fear. This was not a scene from a science fiction movie, it was a harsh reality faced by millions. The world as they knew it had changed overnight, and there was no escape from the relentless darkness. This was the year 536 CE, a year that plunged the world into darkness and despair. It marked the beginning of a period that would be remembered as one of the most challenging in human history. Historians and scientists now believe this was the start of the worst period in human history. Volcanic eruptions spewed ash into the atmosphere, blocking out the sun and causing temperatures to plummet. The effects were felt across the globe. The darkness was only the beginning. The lack of sunlight led to failed harvests, and the cold brought about widespread famine. Communities that had thrived for generations found themselves struggling to survive. It was followed by years of famine, disease, and social upheaval. The weakened population became susceptible to outbreaks of plague and other illnesses. Social structures began to crumble as people fought for scarce resources. The year 536 and its aftermath offer a stark reminder of the power of nature and the fragility of human civilization. It was a time when the very fabric of society was tested, and the resilience of humanity was put to the ultimate test. It is a story worth remembering, for it holds lessons relevant to our own time. As we face our own challenges, we can look back on this dark chapter in history and find inspiration in the strength and perseverance of those who came before us. The 6th century was a time of great change. The Roman Empire, once a mighty power, had fallen in the West. New kingdoms were rising in its place. Across the globe, civilizations were interacting through trade and conflict. The Byzantine Empire, centered in Constantinople, was a beacon of light in the east. In China, the Sui dynasty was unifying a vast empire. The Sasanian Empire controlled Persia and much of the Middle East. This interconnected world, on the cusp of significant transformations, was about to face a challenge unlike any it had ever seen. In 536, a mysterious fog swept across the globe. The sun dimmed, casting an eerie twilight glow upon the earth. Temperatures plummeted. Summer in some places felt like winter. The fog persisted for 18 months, shrouding the world in darkness. This was not an ordinary fog. Historical accounts describe it as a dry, dusty haze that blotted out the sun. The Byzantine historian Procopius wrote, "The sun gave forth its light without brightness, like the moon. Trees struggled to grow, crops withered in the fields. The world was plunged into an unnatural twilight." What caused this mysterious fog? Scientists now believe the answer lies in volcanic eruptions. Massive eruptions, possibly in Iceland or North America, spewed millions of tons of ash and sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere. This volcanic material created a veil around the planet. The sulfur dioxide, reacting with water vapor in the air, formed sulfuric acid aerosols. These aerosols reflected sunlight back into space, cooling the Earth and shrouding it in a dense haze. This phenomenon, known as a volcanic winter, had devastating consequences for the planet. The most immediate and devastating effect of the volcanic winter was famine. With sunlight blocked, temperatures plummeted, crops failed on a massive scale. Across the globe, people faced starvation. In China, historical records describe summer snows and widespread crop failures. Irish chronicles mention bread shortages and mass starvation. The Byzantine historian Procopius wrote of people reduced to eating grass and even resorting to cannibalism. The world was in the grip of a catastrophic food crisis. The impact of the 536 event is etched in historical records around the world. Tree ring data from Europe and Asia confirm a sharp decline in growth, indicating prolonged cold and darkness. In China, records from the Northern Wei dynasty describe widespread famine and social unrest. The Roman senator Cassiodorus wrote of a blue sun and a year without summer. These first-hand accounts paint a grim picture of a world plunged into chaos. The Little Ice Age started. The volcanic winter of 536 was just the beginning. It ushered in a period of prolonged global cooling known as the Late Antique Little Ice Age. This period, lasting for over a century, saw significantly lower temperatures and dramatic shifts in weather patterns. The cooler temperatures and reduced sunlight had a cascading effect on the environment. Glaciers advanced, sea ice expanded, rainfall patterns shifted, leading to droughts in some regions and floods in others. The world was a much colder and more unpredictable place. The Plague of Justinian came as a second blow. As if the volcanic winter and famine weren't enough, humanity was dealt another devastating blow, the Plague of Justinian. This catastrophic event unfolded in the mid-6th century, a time already fraught with natural disasters and societal upheaval. The volcanic winter had plunged temperatures, leading to failed harvests and widespread famine. People were already struggling to survive when the plague struck. This bubonic plague, named after the Byzantine Emperor Justinian I, struck in 541 CE. Emperor Justinian himself fell ill but managed to recover, though his empire was not as fortunate. The plague spread rapidly, carried by fleas that infested the black rats common in the cities of the time. It swept through Europe, Asia, and Africa, killing an estimated 30 to 50 million people. The disease did not discriminate, affecting rich and poor alike, and its reach was vast, touching nearly every corner of the known world. The sheer scale of the death toll was unprecedented. The plague, likely exacerbated by the weakened state of the global population due to famine, decimated cities and villages. Entire communities were wiped out, leaving behind ghost towns and abandoned farmlands. The social structure of many regions collapsed under the weight of the epidemic. It disrupted trade, crippled economies, and left a lasting scar on the social fabric of civilizations. Markets were empty and trade routes fell silent as fear of the plague spread faster than the disease itself. The economic impact was felt for generations, stalling progress and development. The combined effects of the volcanic winter and the plague created a perfect storm of misery and death. The world was plunged into a dark age where survival was uncertain and the future seemed bleak. This period of history serves as a grim reminder of the fragility of human societies in the face of natural and biological catastrophes. The catastrophe was global, from Rome to the Americas. The events of 536 and its aftermath had a global impact. In the Byzantine Empire, the plague and famine weakened the empire, making it vulnerable to future invasions. In China, the Sui dynasty faced rebellions and instability. The effects were felt even in the Americas. Studies of tree rings from South America show evidence of cooling and drought during this period. The Moche civilization in Peru, already facing environmental challenges, likely suffered further decline. The events of 536 offer a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of our planet and the global reach of natural disasters. There are lessons for the future here. The year 536 and the years that followed were a time of unprecedented darkness and despair. Yet, humanity survived. Civilizations adapted. People rebuilt their lives. This period was marked by volcanic eruptions that shrouded the skies in darkness, leading to a dramatic drop in temperatures and widespread crop failures. Famine and disease spread, challenging the very fabric of societies. But amidst this turmoil, communities found ways to persevere. The story of 536 is not just a tale of catastrophe. It is a narrative of resilience, ingenuity, and the indomitable human spirit. People came together, shared resources, and innovated to survive. They learned to adapt to the changing environment, finding new ways to grow food and sustain their communities. This era teaches us that even in the face of overwhelming odds, human beings have the capacity to endure and thrive. It is also a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Communities rebuilt their towns, restored their farmlands, and re-established trade routes. They did not just survive, They laid the foundations for future generations to flourish. This resilience is a powerful reminder of our potential to overcome adversity. This period holds important lessons for us today. It underscores the importance of knowledge, collaboration, and innovation. Ancient scholars and thinkers played a crucial role in guiding their societies through these dark times. They documented their experiences, shared their wisdom, and helped their communities navigate the challenges they faced. Their contributions remind us of the enduring value of education and the sharing of knowledge. It reminds us of the interconnectedness of our planet and the global consequences of environmental change. The events of 536 had far-reaching impacts, affecting regions far beyond the immediate vicinity of the volcanic eruptions. This interconnectedness is even more relevant today as we face global challenges such as climate change and pandemics. Understanding our shared history can help us build a more resilient and cooperative future. It highlights the importance of scientific understanding and preparedness in facing future challenges. The ancient scientists and observers who studied the skies and the natural world provided invaluable insights that helped their societies adapt. Today, we continue to rely on scientific research and innovation to address the complex issues we face. Investing in science and education is crucial for our continued resilience. Most importantly, it reminds us that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can endure and eventually overcome even the most daunting obstacles. The story of 536 is a powerful testament to our ability to rebuild, to find hope amidst despair, and to emerge stronger from our trials. As we look to the future, let us draw inspiration from the resilience of our ancestors and strive to create a world that is more resilient, compassionate, and united.